The reason we're focusing on things like laptops and cell phones and things like that is because those are the things that haven't had tariffs on them yet, and apparently we're going to have an announcement perhaps as soon as today for the rest of that $325 billion worth of goods. What will that do?
Yeah, absolutely. The problem is with all these trade wars going on, there are absolutely no winners. So the U.S. consumer will suffer as well as the Chinese economy and the consumers over there. But at the end of the day, I think when you look at this trade war, you have to understand where China is coming from relative to the advantages and leverages that we have. And I think ultimately China will have to cave on this, because if they don't, what they risk is a permanent market share loss of their supply chain, which can move, because the U.S. is a more adaptable country, which can move their supply chain relationships to other countries like in the Southeast Asia, Latin America, and with the IP theft and the cyber warfare that's happening, it will never go back to China. They cannot risk this.
That's eventually can take a long time. In the meantime, what could be the damage, for example, to the tech sector?
The tech sector, I think, will suffer across the board. I mean, valuations are at record highs right now. I mean, we're looking at 7 to 10 times revenue in some cases, and I think it's going to be felt across the board. The real goal is to pick the companies that are not the direct losers from the trade kind of rhetoric escalations. I think when you think about that, it's the companies that will continue to lower costs for consumers, improve time savings for consumers, and the ability to show improved capital efficiencies. Those are the companies like the Amazon companies, basically the FANGs ex-Apple.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, Facebook, it's not exactly clear how they're going to be hurt because they're not allowed into China anyway. Mm-hmm. So, but
the valuations are really high. Now this, I think a correction, which can happen if this keeps going, the talks like this, I think that can open up a lot of opportunities, of buying opportunities, because a lot of the valuations have gotten a little too lofty.
So you're pretty confident that the Chinese government will have to give in the end. They also have a lot of flexibility themselves in the way their government works. They can use monetary policy, they can fiscal stimulus, things like that, to keep their economy going and to redirect some of the supply chains that we're not as nimble to do.
Sure. I mean, look, this is going to be a period of cyclical pain for everybody. But really, it's about how do I identify the companies that will be secular beneficiaries. Mm-hmm. There's no winners right now because the talks are going to escalate, but will Trump's bark be as loud as his bite? I'm not sure about that.